Friends of Barca Hoy, welcome to a new video that you all enjoy so much. A video that honestly you give a lot of support to, you give a lot of likes. So hopefully, as always, when we make a video about the potential starting 11 for next year, talking now about Barca 2026-2027, I hope everyone supports it with a lot of love. Because honestly, we do it with all the care in the world. To give you a bit more content, we're going to try to start building Barca 2026-2027. Of course, as always, we're going to get into work mode. We're going to act as if we were Hansi Flick and try to figure out which players will be at Barca next year, remember? I always say this because I know there are a lot of people who will say to me, hey, but how can you put that team together if it's impossible? These are players who have been mentioned, they're just rumors. This doesn't mean next year's starting 11 will match what we're creating now, but these are players we'd like. This is just an opinion video, so please leave your comments. Era. Well, I would love for that team to be Barca's next year. Or on the contrary, can you tell me, for example, this player? I wouldn't include him because I don't like him, he hasn't played well, and I don't want him at Barca. I won't name anyone so I don't spoil anything for you. The last player I'll mention will amaze you, so stay until the end. I'm sure he's one of your favorites. Don't forget to leave a big like. Let's begin now, starting with the goalkeeper position. With the goalkeeper, what do we do about Joan Garcia? For me, he's the best goalkeeper in the world right now. If not the best, he's in the top 1 or top 2. Surely, because what Joan Garcia has saved for us, what he's saving us now, and what he still has left to save is a lot. I think this is a signing that Barca made for the next decade. So for me, Joan Garcia, sorry if some don't like him, but I think most people do. He'll always be on my team as long as he's here. At Barca, Joan Garcia is a fixture. Left back, considering what Barca has already done. I'm going to put Cancelo here. Cancelo, why am I putting Cancelo? It's true that Balde is performing well at times because this year I see him a bit. I don't know. I don't see Balde at 100%. I don't see him at 100%. I know a lot of people are going to tell me the same thing. Of course, I wouldn't sell him. I would leave him there. But for me to compete for important matches, a Champions League semi-final, a game that demands the most from you, I think it has to be done. Cancelo is totally capable of being there in Barca's starting 11. I would put Cancelo as left back and, watch out, I would put Bastoni in the center back pairing. For me, if it's possible to make the signing, if it's possible, Bastoni has to be the first signing Barca makes. That's my first signing. I have no doubts about it. Why? Because Bastoni is going to bring experience to Barca, even though he's also a player that I don't know. He's not a player who's already very old, but he has experience in a very tough Inter team. I also think he's a player who will help us with ball distribution, and he can also contribute because he can play as a left back if needed. For me, Bastoni should definitely be a signing for Barca. It's true that his price is quite high, but still, there's the option. Like I said, for me, if he comes, he could easily be one of the best signings made in the last decade. Why? Are you talking about defense? For Barca, he's an option. And you guys tell me if you like him or not, and why would you like him? Because in the center-back pairing, of course, there can't be anyone else but Pau Cubarsí. I mean, I think Cubarsí has more than earned it. The right for everyone to include him in every possible starting 11, now and in the future, until he retires, because he's a player who, just like Bastoni, brings you experience. And you might say, but come on, he's not even 25 years old, of course. He's not 25, but he's a player who has already been there for key moments at Barca. He has also learned, of course, through defeats, it has to be said, in important knockout rounds, precisely against Bastoni's Inter. Therefore, I believe Pau Cubarsí will be a leader for the Spanish national team in a few years. I'm sure of it. I think this defense, our pair of center-backs, or rather, between Bastoni and Pau Cubarsí, can be promising. One of the best defenses in Europe, for sure. In case Bastoni ends up joining FC Barcelona, let's move on to the right-back position. And as you can see, the right-back, I haven't put anyone there yet. I haven't put any player yet, because I want the chat to tell me who is going to be or who should be. The right-back for Barca 26-27 is Jules Koundé around. We can also, of course, put Eric Garcia there at some point if there's no other player. Even Joao Cancelo can also play as right back. But I'm going to leave it blank so people can tell me in the chat. I mean, which player would you like to complete that great defense with Cancelo, Bastoni, and Pau Cubarsí? Who will be the fourth? Leave it in the comments, I'll read it. And now, let's move on to the midfield. What I like most, honestly, You might ask, Ira, would you change much in the midfield? Let me tell you something. Here I would put Pedri, here I would put Fermin. I'll put Fermin here, and here I'm going to put, watch out, okay? I'm going to explain, I'm going to put Frankie de Jong here, but he's also a player that a lot of people want out of Barca. I'll ask you all the question too. I know I'll love this video, especially reading the chat and all the comments exchanged. So, would you keep Frankie de Jong or would you cash in? Careful, Frankie de Jong. You can get a good price for him, actually. We haven't mentioned it before. But Araujo could also leave Barca. You could get a bit of money for him too. And this could help, of course, with signing Bastoni, among others. And I'm going to ask you the question, should Frankie de Jong stay at Barca? Because me, for example, with Pedri, Fermin, I have no doubt at all, man. I really have no doubt. They should continue being fundamental pillars. Okay, of course, Gavi will be there. Marc Bernal, for me, is the future. Marc Casado, another player, we'll see if he stays or goes, but they're important players. Speaking of starters now, as for the potential starting 11 we're making, Pedri, Fermin, my third player. For now, I'm going to pick Frankie de Jong, but I'll leave it up to my chat to decide, okay? You guys choose the right back and a midfielder, then we'll move on to the forwards. You're going to be surprised now because there's at least one player you don't expect coming up next. And before you get mad at me, let me explain, okay? I'm going to put a Benfica player on the left wing, a 21-year-old who's been making a lot of noise lately. And let me tell you something, I think he could be a great signing. Still, Rafinha has already won my heart. Of course, Rafinha would still be a regular in my Barca. I'm clarifying now to avoid later comments, though some will still mention it. For me, a player who could be signed and who I think is having a great season and would surely do very well. At Barca, it's Andreas Schelderup, and right now you're going to find out who this guy is, even though he looks like he has a silver card in FIFA. But I'm telling you, this 21-year-old guy is an absolute beast of a player, and I think he should be at Barca. We'll also look at his price to see if he can be signed for an affordable amount, because I'm telling you, he would really help the team a lot on the right wing. Of course, we would put Lamine Yamal and watch out for the crown jewel here, which for me should be, like I said, a 100% signing, 100% guaranteed. I also understand that it's, well, quite expensive, but Julian Alvarez for me should be Barca's striker when Robert Lewandowski isn't there. Because think about it, next year Robert Lewandowski won't be at Barca anymore. So they need to sign a striker, but not just any striker, a top striker, a reliable striker. So this is my lineup. I'll say it again, the right back position. I'll leave that up to you, and I'll also leave the Frankie de Jong situation up to you, whether you want him to stay at Barca or not. And, well, Schelderup, who we've included there, the Benfica player, just so you know, Barca is very interested in him and he could definitely join. But for me, Rafinha is ahead of this guy, of course. And up front with Julian Alvarez, we complete this powerful Barca 26-27 lineup. Let me know in the comments what you think. I hope this video gets a lot of support. Barca yesterday, Barca today, Barca always. See you, folks.